All right, hi guys, how's it going? You might have wondered what was with that super weird intro, the push-ups and the reading in the water. Basically, we're talking about SMART goals today, or goals in general even. So those are a few things that I've set out for my year, different things that I want to be doing. So a certain amount of water every day, getting reading in, and then a certain amount of push-ups every day. And that all kind of goes back to, specifically the push-ups goes to a goal that got set up by Jim Ramos, and he set that out for the year to do 65,000 push-ups throughout the year. It's 250 every weekday, and I thought, hey, that'd be kind of cool. It's gonna suck, but I thought that'd be kind of neat, just something to try for a big goal like that. And he's got a whole community of guys that are doing that with him as well. So anyways, if you're wondering what that was all about. So let's get into the meat of the video. So it is basically the new year. It's probably gonna be a little bit after that once this video gets posted. But I thought right now would be a good time to talk about goals. So specifically SMART goals. We'll get into some of that stuff throughout the rest of the video, what that means, the acronym, all that kind of jazz. But yeah, I thought this would be a great time of year to bring that up. Just kind of talk about what are the goals for the year? What should our goals be? Should we be trying to set goals for the year? You know, everybody has that stigmatism around New Year's resolutions now. But I think yearly goals are a pretty good idea. I think overall in general, it's a good plan to have an action plan for your year, to have goals and things that you want to hit throughout the year. And especially just a year is a convenient way to kind of test, did you hit those things? You know, it's a good timeline, a base of, by the end of the year, I want to have done such and such. Obviously, there's a lot of failure around New Year's resolutions. There's a lot of disappointment and people just end up giving up on it. But I think that's what makes the SMART goals system very helpful. I think it changes the way that you look at your goals, and it really gets you to get real about it and say, hey, these are the things that I actually need to get done, and they need to get done by a certain time, or, you know, again, we'll get into that throughout the rest of the video. Okay, so let's get right down into it, the specifics of SMART goals. I've heard several people speak on it, watched YouTubers that do reviews on the system, and I've taken some of these principles and elements and used them in my own system for how do I get stuff done, in how do I set my goals for the year especially. So just starting at the very beginning, starting with the S in the word SMART, it stands for specific. So this is where I think we get really caught up, and it was one of the biggest issues in setting goals, is we don't get specific enough. We give very general ideas of, oh, I want to be healthier, or I want to lose some weight, or I just want to get more done this year. You know, I want to love people more. You know, just those kinds of things where we say those as our resolutions or as our goals, but they're not getting very specific. And so kind of what that would look like if you're going to be specific rather than general, is you're going to say, what is this thing that I want to do? You know, what is the generalization? And then what do I actually need to do, the steps that I need to take to actually make that goal happen. And so a lot of people, they'll start at the end goal and then they'll work backwards and figure out what are the different steps that need to happen between now and, you know, the end of this year to make that goal actually happen. So it's getting very specific and giving yourself more of a game plan for the actual process and the journey to get to the end goal, instead of just having that end goal and being like, well, I hope we get there by the end of the year. Okay, and so then the second one is obviously M, which stands for measurable. And this one I think is pretty self-explanatory, but again, this is where we get really caught up sometimes with our goals and we just give ourselves the generalization, oh, I want to lose weight, or I want to get more done. But being measurable gives you really realistic things to go after. Instead of saying, I want to lose more weight, it's, I want to lose 10 pounds, you know, or I want to get that project done on my house. It's gonna be, you know, this whole project, nothing left undone, all of it's, you know, completely figured out. Okay, and then number 3, so this is halfway through, we're talking about the A, which is either attainable or some people say achievable. Either way, that's about the same thing. And the idea behind this is basically looking at your goals and saying, okay, that is something that is doable. You know, that is something that can actually be done, rather than an idealistic thought or goal where it's like, oh, I want to, you know, change the lives of millions of people, or I want to impact X amount of, you know, my area of influence, or I want to change, you know, 30 people's lives in this next year. And it's not to say that some of those can't be done, but if we're gonna make goals like this and not just be totally disappointed at the end of the year, we wanna set goals and ideas for what we want to accomplish that are within our achievability. And so it's just taking a step back, looking at yourself, looking at your history of what you have been able to accomplish, and saying, you know what, I could do that with the skills I have, with the time I have, whatever it is. I can make that happen. I know that if I really set my mind to it, I can make that happen. This over here, that's probably a little unrealistic, you know. And I think that this can be a dangerous part of the system because it's really easy as human beings to just kind of let ourselves off the hook and be like, no, I probably can't really get that, so I'm not even gonna shoot for that. I'll shoot for one, you know, I'll shoot for changing one person's life, or I could lose a pound by the end of the year. You know, it's like, well, duh, of course, you still wanna push yourself. You still want to say, you know what, I think I could make that. It's gonna be really, really tough, but I do think I could make that. So just keep that in mind with this element of the goals, the SMART goals, that you still want to do things that will be a challenge, that will push you, stretch you, make you grow a little bit. And then R is, again, it has a couple of different words people associated with it, either realistic or relevant. So the idea behind that being that, is this goal that you set something that's actually realistic or important for your life? Is this a relevant goal? Is this something that's going to actually make a difference? Is this something that's worth putting time towards? Or is it not really relevant? Are there other things that you could be working on, putting your time towards? And again, the realistic part goes along somewhat with the achievable, the previous letter. Just, is this a realistic thing to be going after? Does this make sense for your set of goals? Is this something that we should really be focusing on? Okay, and then to kind of encapsulate it all at the end, bookend, and it goes along with the specific and measurable a little bit as well. The T at the end of it is time bound, or having a timeline. And I think this is probably borderline also one of the most important ones in the list, because again, just like the measurable part or the specific part, it takes what you want to do and it sets it into a timeline block. And it says, we don't just want to lose weight or just want to get these things done. We're going to get it done within a certain time. So again, that's where setting goals at the beginning of the year can be really helpful. But even throughout the year, if you have, you know, this is one of the goals and it needs to be done, say within 3 months, or, you know, by the time I start it to when I finish it, it has to get done within 2 weeks. Or I have this deadline of, by the middle of the year, I want to hit this certain point in the goal. So it doesn't always even have to be the end of the goal, but it can give you some marker points throughout the year or throughout whatever your timeline is. And you can be every quarter, you know, every 3 months, I'm going to hit these certain numbers or hit, you know, this certain progress through my goals. It's very important to have that with your goals. It's one of the best accountability portions of the SMART goals, is it'll tell you whether or not you're on track, basically. It'll tell you whether or not you're moving forward or you're not going anywhere at all. So really important. I would highly suggest that be one of the big ones to do. So yeah, that's kind of basically the SMART goals. That's something that I think is really important, a really good way to make your goals. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the video, guys. Hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, congratulations. And let me know in the comments below if you liked it, if you like this style of video. I'm hoping to do some more like this, just different principles and ideas I've read about and heard about, just to share it with you. Again, I want to get more good content out there. Just keep talking about this, make the conversation, continue. So yeah, hit up the comments, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your goals are for the year. If you got stuff that you're really trying to get done, I think that'd be awesome just to have that conversation about that. So yeah, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and thanks for dropping in, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.